So everybody, again, thank you for coming. We're here to talk to you today about the evolution of gaming on YouTube, right? We already know that gaming is already a revolution. Where is that revolution going to go? What does it look like in forms of funny moment montages, let's plays, Minecraft, etc.?
The evolution of gaming on YouTube is a topic that I think most people should pay more attention to, especially for the people in our generation who shares the love for videography and motion picture art in general. What surprises me the most is that the content revolving this subject generally captures me more when it cites back to the good old principles of storytelling and the fundamental elements which constitute a good motion picture. And whenever I think about how these fundamental principles should be executed to its most crystalline form, it always points me back to the work of one guy. This bloke, sitting right in the middle. You see, for Evan Fong, the creator for the YouTube channel Vanoss Gaming, it's the recognizing of good storytelling paradigm that separates him from the crowd. Today I want to go through just a few of many great techniques he incorporates into his work and how I think they should be at the core of every good YouTube content.
And your motorcycle.
Every good YouTube video has to have a story, or at least, I guess, a cohesive rhythm where deliberate beats dictate when the next piece of information is to be shown. Vanoss likes to punctuate his first beat, spending most of the beginning 30 seconds of his videos setting up a scene, which is in big contrast to his peers who spend the most of that time introducing themselves and telling people to like and subscribe. To feel Vanoss' first beat, you'll simply have to ask, at what point do I conceive the first piece of information? So let's look at an example. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, just try to figure out the dramatic premise and see how quickly you got there.
You want to do the story game where we like say a word?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
No one invited you.
Uh-huh.
So why are you here?
How did you even get here, Nogla?
I followed you.
That's only a little creepy.
At around 17 seconds, we're shown the first beat. Vanoss is with his friends in Gmod, the scene is set at night and they're going to play the one-word story game around a campfire. What's even more amazing is at such short time, not only is he able to set up the whole dramatic premise, letting us know the who, what, where and when, he's able to squeeze in a small comedic surprise by pushing in on Dahi the Nogla.
How did you even get here, Nogla?
I followed you.
This is actually a really good cut here, check it out again.
How did you even get here, Nogla?
I followed you.
So, after you've hooked your audience, it's time to get into the Let's Play. Traditional Let's Play videos are meant to be anonymous and unobtrusive, so you're supposed to watch the whole video almost feeling like you're playing the game. But these videos are bland and everywhere. So, to make things more interesting, Vanoss tends to break down his videos into two separate modes. And for the record, yes, I did make these terms up. The first thing is what I call the cinematic mode. Going back to the first beat argument, another thing worth noticing is that he generally likes to set up his intros like the inciting incident of an action movie. He's but one of very few, probably the only gamer I've seen that incorporates cinematography in his works. You can literally break his intros down into establishing shots, push-ins, singles, reverse tracking. Overall, it's just amazing to look at the work of someone with that level of attention to detail. The cinematic tone is also used for another important reason, and that is to punctuate a moment with strong visual emphasis.
Alright, here I come, and boom! I'm sorry!
Going even a step further, Vanoss often stages scenes, writing an entire page of script to act out, adding to that feel of cinematic vibe. Look, I'm not going to break down how he writes his scripts, although there's plenty of good stuff there. The important thing to realize here is that these prompted scenes aren't supposed to go the right way. They're always meant to be interrupted for good reason of comedy by his friends or by himself.
I think I'm in the fucking wrong movie.
God damn it!
Which brings us to his next mode of operation, the Let's Play mode. When you have a large team of YouTubers where everyone is going to try to make a video for themselves, the last thing you'd want is chaos. And this is difficult. In a game lobby full of people, how do you punctuate a moment? Previously, I mentioned how Soviet Womble does this by using subtitles, but I think what Vanoss does offers a different solution. You see, if too much sound is distracting, why not just take it away? In Vanoss videos, the Atmos are often neglected. They're so soft that listening to his videos are almost like listening to podcasts. Because Vanoss knows that you don't have to hear the car rumbling in the background. or know the killstreak reward announcements. Unless he wants you to. And when the moment comes, he'll add in a sound effect to punctuate it.
I think if I remove Wildcat's body, it should fix everything, okay?
Okay.
Do not quote me, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna work.
I think this approach just makes his work that much more cleaner, and I think it's one of his most intelligent but under-celebrated techniques. Another punctuating method he likes to use is subtitles. But unlike Womble, whose subtitles are ubiquitous, Vanoss subtitles are unexpected. They almost hit you like a train, and it just emphasizes on the joke.
I was like, you know what, that looks fun. So I went over there.
However, isolating human voice brings us to the next problem. How do the people in this world interact? Okay, so this is where I think Vanoss has something really unique that I don't think anyone else can imitate.
The collaboration part of it was key, right?
Yeah.
Being able to drive audiences to each other, utilizing existing audiences to grow another.
Yeah,
What do you think?
We all kind of suck, but if you put us together, I think for us, it's just the group dynamic, just all of us playing together. We've done this YouTube thing together from the start.
I know for sure that the only reason that like I'm successful is because of these guys and like the people that I know and I talk to and play with on a daily basis.
Vanoss' team has worked with him long enough to know his style and rhythm. They know it good enough so they realize exactly when the cinematic tone is to be broken, when to emphasize, and when to move on from the jokes. If you don't believe me, then we'll look at the campfire clip again. Let's go through it beat by beat after the inciting incident and see how Vanoss' team improvise and build on a joke.
Once!
What?
Who follows it up
Why
with
would you
duh?
say the?
It's gonna be a real shitty story. Start again! Once!
Upon
A time.
the campers,
We're sitting.
Oh my god.
the
Okay, so I skipped the clips a little bit, but notice how Nogla deliberately repeated the joke 3 times. We know this because on the 4th turn on the game, he switches the word.
A time.
that.
And on the 5th, the joke is completely stopped and we move on.
All right,
Once!
upon.
A.
Nogla's repetition on the joke functions a lot like the literacy principle of the rule of 3. A principle that generally suggests that things that come in 3s are funnier and more memorable. We see Vanoss himself doing the same thing with this iconic Houdini joke.
What do you call a magic owl? Houdini!
What is brown and sticky?
Houdini!
Would Martin Luther King be if he was white? What?
Houdini!
Alive.
Even though the Houdini joke actually appeared a total of 5 times instead of 3, Vanoss cleverly only used text to punctuate 3 out of the 5. Therefore, the 4th and 5th repetition will be read as a new joke.
What do you call an owl who became president?
Houdini.
A joke about how the previous repetition is now overwhelming.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Houdini!
After the 3rd joke comes to a complete halt, we're immediately met with another set of repeating jokes, this time conducted by Wildcat.
Boys,
Excited about
tits.
Because
The
tits were
squishy.
zombies!
What's important to realize here is that these sets of jokes timed so perfectly and performed completely impromptu is done with no participation from Vanoss whatsoever. The only creative input contributed by him is editing and choice of music. Through no part did he engage on the performance itself. Vanoss crew members are like familiar movie characters. Each one of them constitute a particular stereotype, and that often helps to sell a joke. For example, Wildcat plays a joker in most of Vanoss' videos, making fun of people, telling stupid jokes, and mostly just being a clown.
Put my eyes like this so I can see enemies coming from any direction.
In contrary, Delirious plays the idiot. We see him reading things wrong,
The economy.
and being dissed by Wildcat.
All right, here's a new game plan. Let's not put things right next to where we're trying to fucking hide Delirious. Like, you know how some people leave breadcrumbs like leading to where they are? You left the whole fucking loaf of bread 6 feet away from me. Where are you, dumb shit?
Meanwhile, Dahida Nogla always plays a rager. We see him screaming, shouting, and disconnecting. And of course, there's Vanoss himself, who cleverly chooses to play as a chameleon for the sake of emphasis. When his team is being funny, he judges them like calling out to us to judge them with him.
Condom.
Where?
Used condom.
Okay, that's not a used condom. That's a boot.
It's a used condom
goddamn
for a
it.
curvy dick.
No.
When his team is being sensible, he clowns around.
Wait, hold on. You see this? You see this bench?
This characteristic almost acts as a narrator, the reinforcement of the things he wants us to feel. And all the techniques he uses, punctuating the first beat, switching between cinematic and let's play format, portraying players as movie characters, all add up to one thing: sophistication. I don't really think there's anyone out there who can replicate the world that Vanoss has built. And I say world because I think what Vanoss has created is a show, almost like a TV sitcom made for YouTube. Took him almost 8 years of editing, voice acting, and team building to get to where he is right now. So regardless of how you like his channel, there's inevitable craft and experience written everywhere. It's something undeniably cohesive and worth taking another closer look at. Vanoss Gaming is the perfect reflection of just what we need in the evolution of gaming on YouTube and YouTube in general.
Yeah, cause I got it like that. Flow so smooth like I got it on tap. Yeah, and I'ma say
What you want to do is be creative, and it's not really like a system where it's like, all right, I'm going to clock in and work for like 5 hours. It's like you do it till you get it done, and when you're happy with your video. And sometimes that could be 5 hours, sometimes that could be 8, or sometimes it could be 16. But for me, it's more about quality and just kind of seeing the video myself and being happy with it, and like saying, oh, I would have watched that video if I saw it on YouTube just randomly. So
get it, Seagram 7 night. Blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the vodka, blame it on the Henny, blame it on the